Here, I'll tell you when to start talking.
You be the producer. I'll be the
host. I can't handle it. Oh, no. Go.
Coming to you all the way from Norfolk, Virginia, Go On Podcast presents How Embarrassing with Molly and Jeff. How embarrassing!
How embarrassing!
How embarrassing!
How embarrassing! Oh, this is a nightmare already. Oh, gosh. Welcome to How Embarrassing. It's a podcast about all of our embarrassing lives. My name's Molly.
I'm Jeff. That was a good impression, wasn't it?
That was a good impression. So, little worms out there, my worms, my peeps, my fans. We have a very special episode today because Jeffy Doo, a.k.a. Rich Boy, is at a resort in Mexico. So he's unable to join us this week for the recording.
And you guys, I'll let you say Rich Boy because he probably is richer than your family, but also your family has never been talk. So it goes in order of richness. It goes Jeff's parents, your parents, then my parents. So just keep that in mind.
Wait, I don't think that's true.
That is very true.
I don't know if you know how poor my family is. They're not.
Let's whip out the records. I need tax reforms.
They're not.
Tax forms.
My parents are not doing that hot. They never have.
Oh. Well, we don't have to talk about it now.
Okay.
My parents are doing fairly well now. They saved.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't buy me any fucking Legos.
Yeah, I would say my parents are probably just as shitty off as they were when we were younger. But I think Jeff's family definitely surpasses all of us in wealth.
For sure.
Anywho, let's get into some embarrassing stories from my day.
Yeah.
Because today was the worst day, which I call Doctor Day. And it's once every, 8 to 9 years, I schedule doctor's appointments.
Really? It seems like you've been to the doctor a lot lately.
Okay, so
I was wondering if you were all right.
So lately,
and I saved it for the pod. Are you all right?
Yeah. So what happened was I just got health insurance again.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I've been balling out, and I've been seeing the docs. I've been getting my Zoloft prescription. I was getting that in a real sketchy way before, so I'm glad we were back on track.
You're doing street Zoloft?
Don't worry about it. I got my Zoloft back. Then today I had a day off, so I scheduled a dermatologist and a gynecologist appointment. All the ologists.
All in one?
The outsides and the insides.
Is it like a Taco Bell KFC?
Yeah, it's the medical school. So
that's where I work.
I was able to. Okay, but I just need to talk about what happened to me.
Yeah, please. I'm curious.
I just want to start by saying, of course, we need teaching hospitals and medical schools to teach people.
Yeah, thanks. Because that's where I work. So, don't fucking.
That's why I'm very gingerly brushing the topic.
How about you start off with first? Are you going to live?
Yeah, probably. Okay. I don't know.
Thank you.
We'll get to it. Well, so what happened was I get to the dermatologist, and so I am a very fair-skinned Irish lass. So typically, I try to go to the dermatologist every year.
Good.
And usually they slice something off me, whatever.
Really?
My mom's had a melanoma. Like, my family has a history. So I go every year.
You're young. You shouldn't be getting stuff sliced off you so young.
Let me tell you, I live hard.
Okay. Yeah, you do.
Living hard out there.
Okay. All right.
Well, today they didn't slice anything, but we'll get to it. So I'm at the dermatologist, and it's been a couple years because I didn't have health insurance for a few years.
It's a dermatologist, whatever.
Yeah, so I'm back. I'm like, I'm back, baby. And the woman who comes in is one of the students who I had to come in and I guess check me out first, and then the big kid doctor comes in.
Right.
So
this is fun.
This student,
and also don't name names because I probably know them, and then I can't comment on no,
I won't. The students walked in. Yeah. Well, one student, and she's just like, okay, so are you having a problem? Why are you here?
She did not say that.
Yes.
Okay, well, I will say that I teach simulation and communication in healthcare, And that is awful. That's bad communication.
Just like, what's like the problem? And I was like, I'm sorry. I probably didn't communicate this well. I'm just here for my like annual check-in. She was like, oh, is it a follow-up about acne? She said, and I was like, I mean, sure. Like, isn't everything a follow-up about acne?
Yeah, pretty much.
I was like, I mean, yeah, like I have some acne, like we can get into it. I was like, but usually I just like to come in and get checked out, and I explain like my family history and stuff.
Did you ask for a menu? That usually helps.
And she then just starts looking at my arms and legs, like no tools, didn't wash her hands or anything. Like she's just looking at my like she's like, oh well, I can give you like a quick like once over. Okay, first of all, I'm not in the gown. I'm just wearing my normal clothes because they put me in this room and they said, okay, they'll be in soon, and no one told me to get the gown on. So I'm just in my clothes. This woman walks in like, why are you here? And then just starts looking at me, and she's like digging through my hair, and she's like, okay, like, is there any spots of concern? I'm like, no, like, you tell me, you're the doctor. And so then she's like lifting up my t-shirt and stuff. She's like having me like Girls Gone Wild style flash her a little bit. She's like, yeah, because like, you know, sometimes like you can get like where your bra sits, like you can get acne there. And I was like, I know, because I have it. But like we don't need it. And she's looking.
Oh yeah, you talked about your back knee last time, didn't you?
Yeah. I get horrible back knee in the summer times, especially on my shoulders. And she was looking. She's like, oh my god, what happened here?
Oh no,
and
she didn't say that.
Yes, and I was like, oh, it's just like it's acne scarring. I was like, I get back knee in the summer, and then I have anxiety, so I pick at it, and I'm not. I know I shouldn't, and blah blah blah. And she was like, oh my god, have you thought about doing something about it? And I was like. Yeah, that's why I'm like at the dermatologist. And she was like, no, I mean about your anxiety. That seems bad.
No. She was like, we got a therapist right around the corner. I know.
I was like,
stop by after the gyno.
Like, oh no, like I have different meds for that. It's fine. And she was like, and they don't help. And I was like, they do. Like, just shut up. Like, you're here to look at my skin. And so finally she's like, okay, well, like, I'll go get the doctor. And she leaves, and I'm like, what just happened? So I did what I always do in situations when I don't know what's going on. I texted my older sister, and I was like, hey, like, are you not supposed to go to the dermatologist every year? Like, this woman looked at me like I was crazy. Like, is this not normal? And she was like, no, it's like 100% normal. Did you just say you're there for like your annual and tell her about mom having skin cancer? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. And I was like, and she just like looked at me and then started looking all over my body and like talking about my giant acne scars. And I was like, yeah. And so then my girl came in, the dermatologist I've seen there before several years ago. I love her. She's a fellow Irish redheaded lass. Oh. And so she comes in. Oh, I wish. She comes in and she's like, oh, hey, Molly, like, how's it going? How's work? So you're here for your full body check? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, we'll leave the room. Put your little robe, like, put the gown on. And like, she was like, right back into it. And I just like look at this student like, yeah, like that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you know, just like she just waltzed in, starts looking at my arm. She's like, I can take a look. I was like, oh my God. So I hate going to doctors. I'm afraid of doctors a little bit. I grew up with like very severe hypochondria, so I always just thought like something terrible was going to happen when I went to the doctor. By the way, if Jeff listens to this, he's hating it right now. He's like, Matt, jump in. Matt Cole, jump in. Stop. This whole episode is just going to be Molly and her doctors. Because guess what? But guess what? I like it, Jeff. And he's, keep going. Mexico. I drove Jeff to the airport this morning at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. Yeah. So actually, Jeff can't say shit to me because I'm a good friend. I drove him to the goddamn airport, and actually the whole way there, I put that song on loop. I was like, oh, the whole way there, Mexico. The 5 minutes. Yeah, we made it about 4 times through the song. So pretty quick one. So that was fun. That's but awesome. Doctors, I just always have a weird experience. constantly getting roasted.
Yeah, the student was doing what they were supposed to do, but you're right. It's like they just throw them in there and they're like, hey, go do something.
Yeah, it was awkward. It was awkward as hell.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Oh, poor student.
The gynecologist went better, and that's usually not how that goes.
Was it a gynecology student as well?
No.
Oh.
It was
that probably would have been a fun story.
Yeah, no. But usually they're like, do you mind if we bring in the team of interns?
Yeah.
And like 9 people walk in. I'm like, hey guys, it's me.
Hey, Molly. And they're like, oh, that's Molly? Wow.
They're like, shit, I can't believe we're in here.
I've heard stories.
Right now. Yeah, no, my gynecologist always roasts me.
Why?
I used to go to like, I used to go to, I guess it's like a Catholic gynecologist.
What? No.
I don't know. What's it called? Like St. Agnes. It was like an affiliated hospital, whatever. But
were they like steer you away from abortions?
They were just like she'd go in and she'd be talking to me and it was always as she was leaving the room, like done the exam. She'd be like, oh yeah, and I wrote you a prescription for that yeast infection, and I'd be like, what? And she'd like be gone, or like I have an IUD, and she was like, "Oh, by the way, I couldn't see your IUD strings, but I'm sure it's in there."
Bye. And then she poof, and a plasma goes away.
Yeah, mysterious. But I've just always have had strange. And then I told the story on the podcast of when they told me the window was one way, but it was actually just an open ass window on Brambleton Avenue. And just like,
all right, Jeff is speaking to me through spirit, and he says, "Move on to an ad break."
Okay, fine. It's time.
It's Jeff, sorry.
For an ad break. Hey there, fella. Do you want to get away?
Yeah, boy, I do. Man, my job, it's a 9 to 5 headache. That's what it is. And my wife, my kids, I can't stand it. I need to get away.
It sounds like you could use a tropical vacation.
A tropical vacation? That sounds like a dream.
Where the pina coladas are flowing.
Ooh, I can taste it now.
And the hotel room's already paid for.
Oh my God, yes!
That's right, little worms. The Beaulieu family would like to sponsor a trip to Mexico for every listener of the podcast.
Jeff Beaulieu's parents, aren't they loaded?
Absolutely. Jeff Beaulieu's rich-ass parents are paying for every single person hearing this right now to go to Mexico. All you have to do is go to www.mexico.beaulieu.gov and you can book your plane ticket now. All inclusive. You just have to show up and be ready to be amazed.
Holy cow, is this pile of cocaine for me?
Thanks, Beaulieu family, for buying us all drugs and plane tickets.
And hookers.
And hookers.
All right, Jeff, if you're listening and taking notes, there was no dead air in that ad.
That's right, Jeff. Honestly, Jeff, that's how it's done. Actually, today is kind of the ultimate test to find out if my dad's theory that Jeff is dragging the podcast into the ground is true.
Yeah, I'm speechless.
Yeah, well, let's get our guest in here.
Okay,
everybody.
Here we go.
You have to open up your ears to hear the sweet, sweet sounds of our guest coming at you right now. We got Tracey in the house.
Welcome.
Tracey, how's it going?
I'm good.
Are you embarrassed to be here today?
No, I was just kind of embarrassed about your gynecologist part.
Yeah.
She's a walking embarrassment. That's why we started this podcast.
It's true. And I knew going to the doctor today, I knew something was going to happen that I could talk about.
That's why you went, right? You woke up and you're like, oh, I need an embarrassing story. Quick, what do I do while you? Oh, go to the gynecologist.
I was like, I need material. Get me to a doctor's office.
My lights are flickering. I'm going to...
Yeah, this is a very haunted room. Why don't you go fix that problem? Tracey, are you someone who gets embarrassed easily?
Not really, to tell you the truth. I don't get embarrassed easily, but if I get embarrassed, I kind of remember it for a long time.
Yeah, it haunts you.
Yeah,
we hear that a lot. You're not alone in that. We have a lot of people waking up in the dead of the night, covered in sweat, just thinking about the gynecologist.
They need their Zoloft to forget.
For real. I wish Zoloft made me forget. Are you kidding me? Bliss.
Just the alcohol does that.
Yeah. There's that Britney Spears quote that's like, the key to happiness, no memory.
Is that a real quote?
Yeah, she's a Sagittarius queen. I love her. Yeah, she's like, what's the secret to happiness? I don't remember anything.
That conservatorship really fucked her up, didn't it?
Dude, I could talk about it, but I just can't even.
Are you up on the whole Britney fiasco?
Yeah.
And now it's who else?
She just got engaged yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't
she just
know.
got engaged
There's somebody else
and-
down in conservatorship that's like being fucked over. Who is it?
In conservatorship.
Oh, it's Jeff. I got your mumblies.
Jeff just went into your body and tried to pronounce a word. There you go, coughing. Coughing. What are you smoking again?
I can't stop smoking. What is this,
You're
Jeff?
Jeff now.
I would say it seems like Lindsay Lohan should be in conservatorship.
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes. It's Amanda Bynes. That's who I was.
Oh, yeah.
Another Nickelodeon.
That whole generation of women, we really ruined them. I blame the world for that. I read the early 2000s were brutal, and I can't imagine being famous during that time. But I can imagine being famous during this time. So don't forget to like and subscribe and rate and review the pod.
We never have time for that. It's usually Jeff like talking some bullshit, and we don't have time to say like and
usually,
subscribe.
Yeah,
smash the like button.
Jeff
ding
is
the
usually here just killing the vibe. And now he's in Mexico.
Or something.
He did send me. He sent me a picture of these animals they have in Mexico that look like anteaters and monkeys and raccoons all in one. They're really scary. So I hope he's okay.
I saw a picture of it, and I couldn't put a bet on which one of those creatures it was, to be honest.
Yeah,
it had features of all
I'll
of them.
post it to the page because I truly am shocked by what I saw in my phone.
Tracey looks scared.
Enough about me, though. Tracey, do you have a story you've prepared to tell the fans today?
Yeah, I have a short one to start.
Okay, an appetizer.
Appetizer.
Yeah, an appetizer. Yep, it's a short one.
Good.
So this goes back to when in my first year of teaching, and I was a band director. So beginning band.
Yeah.
I had really good kids in the band, but there were like 4 saxophone players. I can't remember, it was 5. They're all girls, and I remember it was Ashley, Kelly. I can't remember her name. Julie, and there might have been another girl there.
Probably another Ashley. Let's
Another
just say
Y
I'm
or
not sure. It might have
IE at
been
the end.
Melody.
Molly. Let's say it's a Molly.
It was Ashley, Molly.
So they all had different personalities, and it wasn't Ashley, Allison. I'm sorry, Allison Schindler.
Shout out to Allison.
Yeah, shout out to Allison wherever you are. So this is 1986, so I have no idea where you are, but if you're listening,
Nice.
Hey, I was your band director.
Nice.
So Allison was really serious saxophone student. Never really talked, never showed anything. Kelly and the girl next to her
communicated through
always
the saxophone.
talk, and this is 7th grade. So 7th grade girls, they would always talk. And then Julie over here, she was quiet also.
Yeah.
And then whoever the other one is, I can't remember.
I just imagine them only like blowing notes at each other instead of talking. They're just like,
Quit passing notes. Oh, in class. Uh-oh.
that's some band director humor.
What if it was like Britney Spears or like Amanda Bynes? You're like, I forget her name. What was she? What was her name? All right, sorry. Keep going.
So so my first year, I wanted to be like really professional. So I always wore a tie. That's before I transitioned. So I always wore a tie, nice pants, slacks, nice shirt and everything. So I always wanted to be professional. I always wanted to get that across. So one day I'm in front of the band. I can't remember what I'm doing, but all of a sudden I see Kelly says something to the girl next to her, says something to Allison, and Allison starts kind of like laughing, which was so odd because she doesn't
She was a real
ever
wet
laugh.
blanket, yeah.
Yeah, doesn't really laugh. So I'm kind of, and then Julie's gets here, they say something to her, and she's laughing, but then they're all trying to like put their faces down, and then they'll look, put their faces down. And I'm like, girls, like, what's so funny? Like, it's never happened. Like, they will talk at times, we never had that. And they wouldn't tell me. They're just so embarrassed.
Oh, no.
So I don't know why. So all of a sudden I'm just thinking, okay, what could it be? And I look down and my fly is wide open. And it's kind of like my underwear is flapping in the breeze and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
So I looked down and I'm like, okay, I guess I don't say anything. So I turn around and just zip up, turn back, and I'm like, okay, let's take it from letter A.
Here we go.
That's like my first that's my worst embarrassing teacher story. So just an appetizer.
That was a good setting, though. It really made it infinitely worse because you hear about all those band kids and their horniness, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, band kids are freaks.
Yeah.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that setting, like if it was in math class, it'd be like, all right, whatever. But it was these fucking four horned out sax fiends.
Yeah.
They were sucking on reeds at the same time.
Those
Exactly.
sax fiends.
Wait.
Yeah, we
You've
are
been
talking
missing
about.
this. Yeah, Jeff's like, take the bell, take the bell, god damn it, take the bell.
We gotta reel that in. Okay.
Okay.
So that's just an appetizer. That's teaching.
These horned out.
The other one is this is going to be a little bit longer story.
Okay,
so
cool.
This happened in 1976. Just put in context, it's the bicentennial. Everywhere you go, there were bicentennial flags, all this stuff out there. So I was in this drum and bugle corps called the Hawthorne Machachas.
Wait, say that again. A strum and bugle?
Drum and bugle corps called the Hawthorne Machachas. Which was like, have you ever heard of DCI? We were one of the members of DCI, and the year before we came in we came in. We were actually disqualified the year before, but that's a whole different story.
Briefly, what happened there? Was it drugs, performance enhancing?
Performance.
Well, a lot of the corps did do that, but no, we didn't get caught for that.
Nice.
One of the members was considered overage. He had turned 21 like 2 weeks prior, so they disqualified.
You're too old. Get the fuck out. You're too old.
Yeah. But that's that's a whole other story. So. It was 76, and we had a practice. There were 5 of us who used to go to the practices together. It was Dave, who always drove, then Jim, who we called Gunga, because 2 years before he didn't make the corps, he was a water boy, basically, so they called him Gunga Din. Then me, then Larry, and then Rich. Yeah. And Rich was somebody I'd known since middle school. We were in band together and everything. So we used to go to a place after practice called the Golden Steer. They had the best roast beef sandwiches all over the place.
Yum.
So next to there was a graveyard, or not a graveyard, a place where they made headstones.
Oh, okay.
And stuff. A place where they made graves.
Yeah, a grave maker.
Yeah, a grave maker.
Hey, let's go down on the stake and grave.
So at that point too, we had Dave, who was very cute and everything. All the girls loved him. He had hooked up with this girl in the Winter Color Guard, which was in Waldwick, which is north of Hawthorne.
Oh my gosh.
So after practice,
so many levels of
I know
band
it does. It
here.
has so many levels of this. So after practice, he would go to see her, and we'd have to get kicked out of the cars. So there were 4 of us running around Waldwick, New Jersey. Like, what are we going to do? Like, we have like 2 hours or so, and it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So for some reason, we decided we were going to see how many 1776 flags we could steal.
Oh, no. All right.
Ooh, I like this side of you. Mischief.
Yeah, so we stole a good amount. I don't remember. It was a good amount. And then we also stole the Waldwick Ambulance Corps. Their little sign that was on their building, we stole that.
Oh my gosh.
So we're like, okay. Then our horn instructor's name was Jeff Kivett. And when we went through Wayne, they were taking me home. We'd go through Wayne, and there was a road there called Kivett Road.
Oh, nice.
Well, a street sign with the name of your horn instructor. What do you have to do?
You gotta take it.
You gotta take it. It's your horn instructor.
It's your
Come
horn
on.
instructor.
Come on. It's your horn instructor.
It's your horn instructor. So we take that. And that's before the part about when we went to the Golden Steer, we went there all the time. So it's like, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday night of that week, we had practice. We go to the Golden Steer, and somehow we walked over to the headstone place.
Okay.
And there is a headstone that had the last name of Kivett on it.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we decided that night, let's take that.
Oh my God.
So we took it, put it in the back of the car, and then we drove to practice the next night, and that might have been Wednesday night. I don't remember the exact night, but we actually presented the street sign to Jeff. He was really happy about that. Go to give him the headstone, and he was not really happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the third act of like A Christmas Carol, where like,
Yes.
here's your headstone. He's like, he breaks down. Yeah, it's
So
not a good
he's
time.
like, you guys have to take that back after practice. So after practice, we take it back, but we wanted to be nice. So we just wrote a note, thanks for letting us borrow the headstone. We hope we didn't like bother anybody or anything like that with rocks put on the headstone.
Gosh.
So that part happened. And then that Friday night, I remember Rich, which unfortunately he did, because what happened the next day, he actually was told to quit by his parents. He was a wuss, and he said, okay, parents, I will.
Wow.
Damn.
And there were like 2 weeks left in the season, and he's like quitting. We're just like,
What a fucking wuss.
I know. that's
Get your
what I
ass
said.
back here.
What are you doing?
Get that
like,
dust off that horn
Yeah,
and
come
get back
on.
out here.
yeah. So,
Get back in the horn.
so he had quit, but then so we took the grave headstone back, but we had all those flags, the Waldwick Ambulance Corps thing in there, and something else. I can't remember what else we took. We were just on the spree of, we're going
You
to
were
do
out
something.
of control.
No, we looked at it as something constructive with our time. Because those flags are going to be worth something one day, because they were bicentennial flags.
God. All right.
So, and now the next day, just the bad part, I was in a really bad car accident, and Dave had passed away 2 days later.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Rich
I did
wasn't
not
with us.
see this part of the story.
Well, I just have to add that because what happens after that, and that's like a sad part. So that's not anything I'm really embarrassed about, even though something happened when I was in the hospital one time that was pretty
you're-
embarrassing.
Oh, you're not embarrassed about the tragic fatal car accident you were in with your friends?
That's surprising.
Yeah, that's
Oh my God, did this story circle back to the gravestone?
Wait a minute.
What?
No,
Uh-oh.
it hasn't
Okay.
done that, but it'll circle back to the things that were in the back of the car.
Because I was about to be like, if they made the gravestone, oh my God, that was.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got rid of it, because it would have been like not really good to have a gravestone, in the back of your car when you have a car accident.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I'd say.
Jesus Christ.
This got dark.
Jeff, come back.
I think Jeff would actually be loving this.
Jeff would laugh his ass off. We wouldn't be able to control him. He'd be like, what the fuck is going on right now?
That was
How did you bring in like a story about, somebody dying?
Well, Dave did pass away. I was in the hospital for a pretty long time in intensive
God.
care and everything. But the thing that was really kind of embarrassing, and I don't think we ever gave an answer, was Dave's parents, my parents, Larry's parents, everybody kept asking us, what were all those flags in the middle? What the ambulance corps sign in the back? And I'm like, I don't have any idea.
I don't know. I hit my head pretty hard.
Everybody played stupid. So
Yeah.
it was just like being in there and trying to like cover it. I don't know what Dave, what Larry and Jim said, because I have no idea. Like, I really haven't talked to them much. I'm in and out of consciousness, whatever. So when they're asking, so that's a kind of an embarrassed thing to answer about that. But I was really happy that we did get rid of the gravestone, because that probably would have caused some more damage. all
Yeah, that
the
would have
way
been a
around.
lot of damage.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
and-
God.
And then when I was in the hospital, 16 years old, one really embarrassing thing happened. The girl that Dave was dating from this winter color guard, she was gorgeous. And one of the other girls that I knew I liked, she came to visit me. And another girl came to visit me. And it was after I was in intensive care, and they finally took the catheter out of me. Well,
Oh boy.
yeah. I'm like, I have to pee. Okay, so I reach for the pee bottle, start going, and under the thing, and they're kind of to the side. Well, I guess I hadn't gone and didn't know how to go, was holding it so long. I actually overflowed the bottle and went all over the bed.
No.
So here I am with a girl that I really liked, one of the most beautiful girls I remember seeing in my life, and another girl, and I'm having to tell him basically, I just wet my bed.
Oh no.
That's pretty embarrassing times then.
Jesus Christ.
God. There were, So many layers.
Yes.
I know. I really, and again, I keep on going back to like, what if you went back to the gravestone and they were like, get the fuck out, you know, like, we're not going to make your gravestones, you assholes.
Yeah, we know what you did.
We know what you did. Oh my God.
Do you ever think that maybe the gravestone had a curse?
I've never thought about that till now. Thanks, Molly.
That's bad juju. That freaks me out.
So
We're big Halloween fans.
And maybe
here.
everything, all the things we took and everything was bad, you know,
Oh
it was
my
bad karma for us. And I really never thought about that to now. So thanks. And I have the guilt. Now I have the guilt
Molly.
of surviving a car accident. And now the guilt of it all coming because I was stealing flags and stuff. Boy, double guilt.
It was the bicentennial curse.
We're glad to, make your day. That's awesome.
Yeah, so what we gotta do is in what is it?
Oh, wait. And how many? Are you looking for the next centennial?
In 2076.
Yes.
In 2076, we're going to have to do some sort of redemption ceremony.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be, 2076. That's
None of us will be fucking alive,
50?
Molly.
Well, you two could be alive.
2076?
How many years in
50 years from now? I'm not going to make it that long. You could. Except for you're going to die of skin cancer or something.
Yeah, because no one's looking at me properly. I'm not getting any proper doctors.
I'd be like 111 years old.
I
don't think
believe
I'm
it.
going to be around.
Oh, come on. I believe in you. We'll wheel you out and do a ceremony.
Even in a coma or something like that. Wheel me out.
We'll drive you around stealing flags. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I can see you just drooling and everything. You guys are just
Tracy,
Tracy,
we're stealing flags. Wake up.
It'll be the only... No, we're going to return all the flags.
Wait, where are the
We
flags?
have to reverse the curse.
I have no idea
We
where
have to
they
find
are.
the flags.
It's
going
like
to be a
national
treasure.
treasure.
Yes, it's going to be a treasure hunt. And we're going to return all the flags. And because I think Tracy might be cursed with everlasting life. And so that's how you're going to be like, I'm 111. I've been waiting to go for 20 years. And so we're going to wheel you around. And then the curse will be broken. And then you'll be able to pass to the other side.
All right, so I'm going to play Jeff around and be like, this is fucking stupid.
I think Jeff would be into this.
No.
Jeff loves like a heist.
Does he? No.
Really?
He'd be like, this is too fantastical. This is
You're
dumb.
right. You're right. Maybe it is dumb.
Jeff, call us, email us, howembarrassingpodcast@gmail.com.
Jeff, could you send us all your notes? I would love for us to send Jeff this episode and he can make commentary and we could just splice in his comments.
Yes, I can do that.
Just be like, hey, while you're poolside drunk in Mexico, can you just send us some quick notes on this shockingly dark story Tracy came to us with?
Well, and then I have another one that's a little bit more recent if we have time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this happened, this would have been
Last
January.
week.
No, January of this year.
In 2021. Yeah, it feels like this year has lasted forever.
Was it
Yeah.
2020? Yeah, it was 2021. So there's a dark side to this. Sorry.
Ooh. The curse.
It's kind of, I am a little sad that Jeff is missing our dark episode.
That's true.
He
He would
really
like it.
loves this kind of stuff.
I didn't like it.
So I'm an okay Cupid, and once in a while, somebody will say we both like each other, you connect, and you do that whole thing, start talking through okay Cupid,
Yeah.
but then you exchange phone numbers and you start talking and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I met this girl who lived out in Roanoke, and she was like, "Hey, how are you?" And we started talking and everything. So one odd thing that happened, she asked me one time, like, what's your favorite song? And Fred Astaire, and I can't remember what her name, on when they danced to Cheek, I love that song. So I said, well, Cheek to Cheek would be like, that's one of my favorite songs. The next day, video of her singing Cheek to Cheek.
Oh, no.
I'm like, okay, that's a little over the top, but it sounded really nice. And she was trying to be nice. Okay, no problem, trying to be nice and all that. So, didn't really, it's kind of red flag, but not one that said just cut it off because she's a singer and, maybe whatever.
like that. Like maybe that's their love language.
Yeah.
Song.
So that point, to the time we had met in February, I had to go to Albuquerque because my stepmom had passed away in December, and they could finally cremate her in New Mexico. It took a while. So I went out to there, and the whole time we were texting each other all the time. Nice. But it was like endless. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to text right now.
Not that into it.
I'm in Albuquerque. I'd flown out here. I went to Old Town. I had to go to the funeral for my stepmom. It was traumatic. I was the one in the family that could go, so nobody there really,
That sucks.
And it's just kind of traumatic, all the way around. It's like, oh, she was really nice to my dad. Great lady. So I don't know if I really want to text, but she'd text me and it'd just be like... And I'd sit down, I'm in the hotel room, and I'm watching something, and like 2 seconds later, another text. Text. Then another text. Text. Another text.
Too much. It's too much.
Yeah, that's
too much.
I'm
just
tired.
Too much. So at that point, there were a couple, and then she found the video when I did my stand-up for ASAP.
Cool.
She found the video of that, which... great.
Yeah.
But then she posts it on Facebook again.
What?
She reshares it? Like, whoa.
She reshares it.
That's too much.
So I'm like, okay, that's a little freaky.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Yeah, and then she kind of finds out where I live because she goes, well, I work in real estate, so I did a reverse phone search and found out that I live in Virginia Beach and stuff.
I hope this gets really dark. Like she's a fucking serial killer.
Not that, but
okay.
Yeah. So so she finally we're going back and forth, still texting. I think we talked on the phone once or twice or something, and she finally goes, "Well, I'm actually I'm off this Friday night. I think it was a Friday night. Yeah, I'm off this Friday night. I'd like to go out to dinner and stuff." I'm like, okay, let me just see if I had some feelings, red flags, but I'm like, let me just meet this person, see maybe it isn't really as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh God, I don't know where this is going.
Always trust your gut.
I should have been, but I didn't. So she comes down. We actually go to Orapax for dinner.
Cool.
And that night, Short Form team actually had a performance.
Yeah.
On the 8 o'clock show, but it was only like 15, 20 minutes or something because they had 3 different things going on. Then after that was the armed forces. They had all of us from the armed forces doing the judging. So I, just being nice, said, well, if you want it, you can come see me do some improv and watch some improv. Okay, no problem. She goes, she sits there, she's nice. It's kind of a nice night overall.
Good.
Yeah.
I did tell her one thing, there are a couple of things that concerns me. And she goes, what? Well, first, researching me through a phone number to find out where I live, that's a little scary. And posting a video on Facebook, even though that was on Facebook, people saw it was posted on there by me, doing that so much later without asking me is kind of like I have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, I guess I should have asked you. Yeah, I guess you should have. So we go to the one show, and I do my thing, and then I judge with Alfred and Kevin, me, and I'm trying to think who the fourth person was. Can't remember now, but there were 4 of us. So we get done at 11:30 or so. So we start walking outside, and I decide, let me just walk her to her car, trying to be the... I guess I want to say trying to be the gentleman, but some habits don't break. And nobody should be walking alone at that time over there anyway.
It's a nice thing to do.
It's a nice thing to do. It's a rough neighborhood.
You never, honestly, hit or miss.
The way it is later. Ooh, it is, it's kind of getting rough there. But so I just as nice as went to kiss her goodnight.
Yeah.
She plants her mouth on my lips and puts her tongue so far down that I think she's actually trying to eat my food that's regurgitating in my stomach.
Ew.
That's a very colorful way to put it.
I really wasn't prepared for that.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
So I said, well, she had to go home. I need to go too. So she goes. So then after that, excuse me, my voice is getting a little raspy or sore. But after that, we kept in touch somewhat, not as much. I didn't text her as much.
Yeah.
But it's the same time, too, that we were trying to get the Virginia Values Act passed in through the state legislation and everything. So I'd gone up to Richmond to be there to talk about it and help and all this stuff for Equality Virginia. So I wound up staying overnight, and she said, "Oh, where are you?" I said, "I'm in Richmond. This is what I'm doing." And she says, "Oh, well, I can come over. Like, I can come down tomorrow and take you out to lunch." And I'm like, at that point, I knew, like, I don't want anything to do with this person. I'm like, no,
coming on too strong.
That's it. Yeah, you can't do that.
That's intense.
You don't like that.
No. I'm not gonna. No. Like, no, I'm not interested. Why not? I'm not interested in a relationship with you. I'm like, okay.
You gotta kind of rip the Band-Aid off at that point.
So then she sends me that night or next day. She sends me this video she does.
Oh God!
Telling me about when we first started talking. She was almost in an accident going into her driveway because there's a little little hill or something.
And
she felt like she was going to go down the hill, but she wanted to make sure that I knew that she was okay and what her grandmother would tell her and all this stuff. And
were
I'm just
you like, lady, tell me about car accidents? Come on.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I don't see anywhere where your car would have gone off of anything, and there's nothing in the area to hit. There's no trees. Like, I don't see this as
She would have just kept rolling.
So I just said, no, I'm not really, I don't, I'm not interested in having a relationship with you and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we go past about 2 or 3 months later. It might have been about 3. And she was wondering about churches in Roanoke, because who has LGBT people there accepting everything. Well, MCC Roanoke, there's a place there. So she started to go to church there and started singing the choir, which is great. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I see on our church stuff, and I'm on the board of directors at the church at the time too, which makes it even more embarrassing and whatever.
God.
So I see that she, all of a sudden she's singing with our choir at church here. And I'm like,
oh my God.
What? Like,
how'd you get in?
What? Yeah.
I blinked and you're in the choir.
Like, you're in Roanoke and now you're here. Well, it turns out she has family that lives in Newport News, and her aunt kicked her out of her house in Roanoke is the story. So she comes to moves to Newport News, and all of a sudden she winds up at church, and I'm on the board of directors. So I'm like, okay, how do I treat this? Like, what do I do? Like, and nobody
is a pickle.
Nobody knows in the church really that like her and I have whatever happened.
Yeah.
Now, I think if I remember Mark, our pastor, I did tell him something about one point. Didn't say who it was. And then when she was there, I called him and say, Mark, like, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle this, because this girl who wouldn't like let me go, basically, is now singing in our choir. And I want to be a good board director, but I want to be also, a friendly Christian and be welcoming and all that. So what do I do? And he's like, well, we never really came up with an answer, except I wouldn't talk to her first. If she talked to me, I would just be very nice and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, probably the only reason why she really moved here was she still wanted me.
That's what it seems like.
That's what all the clues are pointing to.
Yeah,
Like,
methinks.
Methinks too. So I had no idea what to do. So finally, when he put 2 and 2 together, he was like, that's that crazy girl from Roanoke.
Oh my gosh.
So what happened?
Well, she's no longer in my life for a good thing.
Okay.
She's what we would call a tranny chaser.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, I know. You shouldn't use the word tranny. People out there don't use it. But in the trans community, we use it as people who are really just go after people who are trans.
They like hyper fetishize trans people. They're like, this is my thing.
Well, they like trans people. They want to have whichever, a girl with extra parts or a guy without the extra part, trans. So yeah, it's a thing out there.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Just anyone trans?
Well, it seems like they actually the men actually like the women more. Mm-hmm. Usually, there's a girl that was lesbian, but probably more maybe bisexual. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh crap, she's at church and she keeps coming. And at that point, I think we were going to church too. We were actually in church. We hadn't closed down. So it might have been even the year prior, but we hadn't closed down church because of everything. We were still having in-church services. So all of a sudden, I see this picture. I see this thing that she posts. Oh, I'm going to North Carolina for a special weekend. I'm like, okay, well, I know it's not with me. What happened?
Yeah.
So it turns out she actually met another trans person online. She met this trans person that weekend, the first time in North Carolina, and they got engaged that weekend.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Whoa.
Okay, I didn't see it going that way, but that's insane.
That's fast.
That could have been you.
That could have been you.
Yeah, that could have been me, but no. It's not. So now they're married, and she left this area and went back to Roanoke.
All right.
So I'm thinking, you probably really came here to try
She
to
was
hook
like,
up with
mission
me.
accomplished.
Yeah, she wanted to get married. I remember telling her she married a lesbian in, what was it, Ohio or Michigan or something? And they only met online, and they got, when she went there, they got married, and then she found out she couldn't stand the mom of the person. So she got divorced. I'm like, okay, I should picked up all those red flags, but I was trying to be nice.
That is very embarrassing, and it's very kind of awkward and icky. But here's what I was thinking the entire time. I thought that she was gonna during the choir, during a song, break out into a solo.
Cheek to cheek.
Tracy dancing cheek to cheek, me and Tracy. And I'm like, oh God, that would be fucking embarrassing.
That would have been next level. I wish it went there. But it went pretty far.
I did not see it. Yeah.
If it had gone there, you'd probably see me in jail right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an intense. That's always awkward too when you kind of have a thing or hook up with someone, and then all of a sudden they're just all around you always, and you're like,
For most people, there's a thing in your head. It's I'm doing too much. I need to back off a little bit. I can't text this person. But some people, that switch is turned off, and they're just text.
Yeah, and then they find someone who's receptive to that kind of love, and they get married in 5 minutes.
There's somebody for everybody, I guess.
I guess that's what some peeps are into. Anyway, it's time to get into our next ad break. Man, I'm so lonely.
Are you lonely?
Oh my God, who said that?
It's me. I'm inside your house. Are you lonely?
Yeah, I am.
Well, I'm here for you.
Oh my gosh. Who are you?
I'm Mr. Person, and I'm your person.
Oh my God, Mr. Person. It's like you were here just when I needed you.
That's right. And I already have your credit card and your social security number, and I've already charged the Mr. Person services to your credit card.
Mr. Person, what's my blood type?
Oh, negative.
Oh my gosh, you are good.
I made you this pie.
Wow. Oh my God. It's my favorite pie.
Yeah. Look next to you, inside the cupboard. There's a loaded gun.
Oh my God, Mr. Person. How did you know?
I need you to kill a man named James for me.
Mr. Person.
I baked you a pie.
Mr. Person, I do love pie.
You're not lonely anymore, are you?
I'm not lonely.
I need
Mr.
you to kill James for me.
Mr. Person, what if I don't kill him?
I've already charged your credit card.
All right, where do I go, Mr. Person? I'll do anything.
715 Shirley Temple Road.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Person. How Embarrassing is sponsored by Mr. Person. Are you feeling lonely? Do you just wish you had a person there who knew a little too much about you? Go to mrperson.com/howembarrassing and Mr. Person will appear. He might already be there.
I can smell you.
We're way better.
Jeff, take your time. Take your time in Mexico, you know?
Yeah.
There's plenty to do, you know? A lot of drugs.
It is interesting
tequila.
to be able to be in charge of the soundboard.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot on here that I feel like
You can play around with it if you want.
I don't know. How are we doing on time? I really haven't noticed.
We're at 50 minutes.
Holy guacamole.
Wow. I'm going to say if I had time for one more, but I might not. Huh?
No, we are
man.
Okay.
We'll get you back on the show,
Right?
though, Tracy. You have a lot of good stories that take turns that I'm like, what?
That was something. Anyway, so Tracy, did we ruin your life today on the How Embarrassing podcast?
Molly, when you made me think that the bad karma
This might be the actual episode where you like ruin somebody's life.
could have caused the death of my friend David.
I don't think that was it.
You're backtracking, Molly. You said it.
Now I feel really nervous.
You ruined Molly's life
I
today.
think it was very cathartic to just get it out of my system.
Awesome.
Well, that's good. Do you have any like projects you're working on? Anything you want to plug, promote, share with our many thousands of fans? It's mostly my dad and Jeff.
The only thing is I tried out for the other day for whatever, short form, long form, I don't know, whatever you want to use me for.
Yeah.
So if I'm in on those, come to the shows.
Do a general plug for the Push Comedy Theater.
Yes.
Yeah,
Come
Improv
see us.
Riot, Girl Prov, so many great shows there.
Shows
so.
have fired back up too, and we are really looking to pack the house.
And I am in a sketch comedy for this Saturday night, too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. This comes out on Wednesday. So Saturday night, is it the 10 p.m.?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Saturday night at 10 p.m. at Push Comedy
Platformed.
Theater. Platformed. It's
Yeah.
a really fun, zany sketch comedy
Hosted by-
show.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to come now. You said zany.
Keys is going to be so mad at me.
Oh, shit. I got to edit that out. Sorry, Keys.
Hosted by friend of the pod, Keys Wren. We had the first platform was last month. It was the premiere show, so it was super fun, and we're excited for it again. All right, Matt, any closing thoughts?
No, just, no. Wait, do you usually do that to Jeff? I just felt what you felt, Jeff. Does Molly put you on the spot all the time like that? Now I know. Now I empathize.
I really do, and he always gets mad.
He's like, no, why'd you ask?
What? I was going to say something, and then you interrupted me, and now I can't even think of it.
All right.
All right, well, little worms, until next time.
Keep wiggling! Thanks so much for listening to the How Embarrassing Podcast. Go on Podcast Production if you have an embarrassing story and like to be a guest on How Embarrassing. Send us an email at howembarrassingpodcast@gmail.com.
We miss you, Jeff.